Facebook Live today, but going live on Instagram and also going live here on Facebook. So if you're watching me live on Instagram, you can hop over onto my business page on Facebook, which is Coach Pamela Pedrick, RNCHC. I'll be looking for comments there. I'll try to look over here for comments as well. But today, 3 dieting mistakes that you don't know you're making. What? Yeah, you don't know what you don't know, right? So today I'm going to give you a lowdown, like it's potentially a mistake or something that you're doing that is kind of sabotaging your weight loss results. But as I said, you don't know what you don't know. So we're going to go over these. And if you know of anyone who could benefit from this, please, there's that magic button down there. Let them know the dealio. Let them know what is going on. All right. So if you're not familiar with me, maybe it's the first time you're watching my live virtual high five, my friends, for finding me today. I am Pamela Pedrick. I am a registered nurse, and I'm also a certified health coach. And I'm your health coach teaching you how to lose weight without traditional dieting. And what I mean by without traditional dieting is without just solely eating fewer calories and moving more. Because ladies, if it was a one size fits all, and that's all every single one of us women had to do to lose weight and keep it off, we would not be struggling with the right weight right now, right? Can you get what I'm dropping down? Yeah, so it's not a one size fits all mentality. It didn't fit me. I am hashtag the reformed dieter. I have reformed my ways. I no longer diet. And so I give you tips and strategies. If you are busy, if you are stressed, if you are frustrated with the yo-yo dieting and you don't want to diet anymore, you are on the right page. Because today I'm going to give you 3 quote unquote dieting mistakes that you don't know you're making. So I'm going to help you out here. And these are actually parts of the most common weight loss questions. So question number 1, or mistake number 1. I consume fewer than 1,200 calories, or I'm eating about 1,200 calories a day, and I still can't lose weight. What? Here's the dealio that we have to realize when it comes to calories. A calorie is not just a calorie. All calories are not created equal. What do I mean by that? If you're merely just counting your calories, but not understanding the difference between the types of food and their calories that they contain, you're going to sabotage your weight loss results. Because we can eat 1,200 calories, and that's quote unquote will help you to lose about 1 to 2 pounds a week. When a typical diet, but if we're consuming calories that turn directly to sugar, once they get into our body real quick, we're actually going to be consuming a lot more sugar per calorie than not. So you have to understand that sugar calories and those simple carbohydrates, which are, think of your breads, your white breads, anything that's not a complex carb, it turns immediately to sugar. And then if we don't use that calorie as a fuel source right away, because we got so many of those sugar calories or those carbohydrate calories in our bodies, it gets stored on our body as fat. However, protein and healthy fat calories are completely different. They work on our body in a different way. So don't focus on simply calories. You gotta understand that the calories are different. Sugars, simple carbohydrates versus your proteins and your healthy fats. And you have to understand that it's not just the foods that we're eating. It's just one small part of the equation. And I work with a lot of women who, when they come to me, they're like, I've done everything. I eat pretty healthily. And we troubleshoot what they're eating. We're like, yeah, you are eating pretty healthily. And what happens is when we look at what's going on in their life, there's other things. I call it a trifecta. If you want to know what the other 2 components of the trifecta are, other than what we're eating, comment down below or message me via Messenger, and I'll let you know what the other 2 components we have to focus on and be aware of. There's a 4th component as well, but the 2 actually affect the 4th component, as well as what we're eating when it comes to losing weight. So if you want to count calories, that's all good and well. Just understand that a calorie is not just a calorie. Your sugar calories and your simple carbohydrate calories are going to wreak havoc on your body versus your protein and your healthy fats. All right. So along those same lines, mistake number 2. Should I cut out carbs to lose weight? How many of you have ever asked that question or know someone who's like, yeah, I'm not eating carbs? Okay. We have to have carbohydrates for fuel. We have to. We can't not eat carbohydrates. So you have to rephrase that. When people say, should I cut out carbs? What they're saying is, should I cut out sugars and the simple carbs, what I just mentioned below previously with the 1200 calorie diet, right? We need our fruits. We need our vegetables. We have to have them as a fuel source. It's part of what makes us us, right? They've got some great nutrients, vitamins, minerals that we have to have in our bodies, because our body doesn't make all of our vitamins and nutrients. We have to sustain ourselves with the foods or the supplements that we consume. So should you cut out carbs, all carbs? No, you shouldn't cut out all carbs because we need them to function. So just reframe what your thought process is. Yes, you want to cut out those simple sugars. And then yes, you want to cut out those simple carbohydrates. However, also understand that when we cut out a whole food group, guess what our body does? If you have 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, or you had 2-year-olds or 3-year-olds, what happens when you tell them no and you take that toy away? They freak out, right? They have a temper tantrum. So that's our body, because sugar is addicting. So when we completely cut out one food group, we feel like we're depriving ourselves because, hey, we're on a DIET, which isn't fun, right? We're depriving ourselves. And then when we're faced with that temptation, which usually is like the next meal, it's usually right away, right? Where you've got donuts or something in your face and you're completely cutting it out, you're gonna be like, well, I can't eat that. I can't because I'm not eating it. So then you're like, well, I can't eat it. Well, guess what? You just gave that food the power because you're like, I can't eat you. I can't. Food is not intrinsically bad or evil. Food is just food. So think of it as pleasure foods versus power foods. Those sugary foods are pleasure foods. We can have a pleasure food. However, we do want to limit the amount of pleasure foods that we have. Power foods are those healthy fats, those good proteins, and the healthy carbohydrates are fruits and vegetables, which are going to give us energy. So should I cut out carbs to lose weight? Change your framework there. Change your verb. It's actually, you're cutting out the the carbs, the calories that turn immediately to sugar. Yes, you do want to cut back on that. However, be mindful that as soon as you cut out anything completely, your body is going to revolt. And what people tend to do is they tend to binge when they get tempted, because it's no fun completely cutting out one specific food group. That's too. But I do know people who it works really well for when they cut out those high sugar carbohydrates, but they still eat carbs because they still eat vegetables and they still eat some fruits. So there it is. That's not dieting mistake number 2 that you could be making that is sabotaging your results. All right. I love this one. Eating after 8 p.m. at night. Should I stop eating after 8? Can I eat after 8 p.m. because I haven't had dinner yet? What should I do? So yeah, here's a mistake that you might be making. And it's not that you're eating after 8 p.m. that's the issue. It's the volume of food and the type of food that you're eating. I eat after 8 p.m., but it's not a big meal because maybe I didn't have time to get to my dinner. I had clients during dinner time, things like that. So it's the amount of food, the volume of food, and the type of food that you're consuming. So what happens is you don't want to eat a lot of sugary, simple carb foods because they're going to turn to sugar, and then your insulin levels are going to go up, and then you won't be able to sleep, and that's going to affect your hunger hormones called ghrelin and leptin. And then you're going to eat a lot more the next day. So if you're hungry, you didn't really eat a meal, dinner should be our smallest meal of the day. Lunch should be our biggest meal, but here in the US, we've got that completely opposite. Europe, they do really well at that, which is why they get to eat those rich foods, and they don't gain the excess weight that we here in the States do. Why? It's because they switch it around a little bit. Plus, they're not eating as much volume of those high calorie, those rich foods. So it's not the time, it's not the fact that you're eating after a specific time, it's what you're eating. and how much you're eating. So dinner should be your smallest meal. And if you are eating after 8 p.m. because you just didn't, that's the time you were able to eat, make sure that you're eating healthy fats and proteins. Because when we eat too much foods that are going to turn right to sugar, your insulin level is going to go up. It's going to prevent you from getting the good quality sleep. And it's going to be because it's trying to burn that sugar that you've just eaten, and you're not going to burn any fat at all. So those are 3 dieting mistakes that you don't know you're making, right? If you're eating after 8 p.m., but you're eating the foods that are going to keep you awake, if you are solely counting calories, but not understanding not every calorie is the same, not all calories are created equal, and should you cut out carbs to lose weight? You heard my thoughts on that. Plus, it's difficult to maintain. So that is day 1 of the top 10 or most common questions when it comes to weight loss that I'm answering on this special series. By the way, if you feel like your cravings are out of control, how many have ever felt like your cravings were out of control? Like, what? Yeah. So if you want an end cravings breakthrough session, because there are 3 root causes to cravings, 3 of them. If you want to find out what your root cause of your cravings are, just simply sign up pamelapatrick.com/end-them and get on my calendar for a free complimentary end cravings breakthrough session. We're going to find the root cause of your cravings, and I'm going to give you an action step, a tool that you can start utilizing immediately to help you end your cravings so that you can stop eating your house, stop getting into your kids' candy and your kids' stash of junk food, so you can start losing weight. So if you can't fit into your summer clothes, sign up, get on my calendar for your end cravings breakthrough session, one-on-one session with me, where I'm going to give you your individualized end cravings blueprint based on our conversation. I'm going to ask you a series of questions to find out what life has been like for you. And we're going to discover what the root causes of your cravings. And with that individualized end cravings blueprint, it's going to give you a tool, a strategy to start using right away to end your cravings so that you can start losing that quarantine weight. And it's also time to see if we are a good fit to continue to work together. And if not, totally cool. You'll still have your individual